The idea of keeping your enemies close is an ancient strategy explored in various philosophies, most notably in the art of war and diplomacy. Through the lens of Stoicism, we can understand the deeper value of this strategy in maintaining balance, gaining insights, and fostering resilience. What does it mean to keep your enemies close? Keeping your enemies close involves maintaining a level of proximity and interaction with those who oppose or threaten you. It doesn't necessarily mean befriending them, but rather understanding their motives, monitoring their actions, and sometimes even engaging with them in a calculated manner. This concept can be traced back to various historical contexts, such as political strategies, military tactics, and personal relationships. 1. Understanding your adversaries. To keep your enemies close means to comprehend their intentions, strengths, and weaknesses. By gaining insight into their motivations and strategies, you can better anticipate their moves and prepare accordingly. This understanding allows you to respond rather than react, maintaining a position of control and awareness. 2. Maintaining vigilance. Proximity to your enemies ensures that you are always aware of their activities. It allows you to detect any potential threats early and act preemptively. This vigilance is a cornerstone of strategic thinking, preventing surprises and enabling informed decision-making. 3. Leveraging relationships. In some cases, keeping your enemies close can turn adversarial relationships into opportunities for negotiation and compromise. By maintaining a line of communication, you can find common ground and possibly transform hostility into cooperation. This approach is not about naivety, but about strategic patience and diplomacy. Historical examples of keeping enemies. Close history is replete with examples of leaders and thinkers who successfully navigated the complexities of keeping their enemies close. These stories offer valuable lessons and insights into the practical application of this strategy. 1. Julius Caesar and Brutus. One of the most famous examples is Julius Caesar's relationship with Brutus. Despite knowing the potential threat Brutus posed, Caesar kept him close. This decision was partly strategic, as Brutus was a respected figure among the Roman elite. By keeping Brutus close, Caesar sought to keep a watchful eye on him and possibly sway his loyalties. Although this strategy ultimately failed with Caesar's assassination, it underscores the delicate balance of trust and vigilance required in such relationships. 2. Abraham Lincoln and his cabinet. Abraham Lincoln is another historical figure who embraced the concept of keeping enemies close. During his presidency, Lincoln appointed several political rivals to his cabinet. This team of rivals strategy was designed to harness their talents and perspectives, despite their opposition to him. Lincoln's ability to work with his adversaries not only strengthened his administration, but also helped preserve the Union during the Civil War. 3. Sun Tzu's Art of War. The ancient Chinese military strategist Sun Tzu emphasized the importance of understanding and knowing one's enemies. In The Art of War, he wrote, "If you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles." Sun Tzu advocated for gathering intelligence on enemies, understanding their strengths and weaknesses, and using this knowledge to one's advantage. This principle of strategic awareness is central to the idea of keeping enemies close. Personal experiences of keeping enemies close. While historical examples provide a macro perspective, personal experiences can illustrate the micro-level application of this strategy. These stories from everyday life highlight how keeping enemies close can be beneficial in various contexts. 1. Workplace dynamics. Consider the case of Sarah, a mid-level manager at a large corporation. Sarah found herself constantly at odds with a colleague, Mark, who frequently undermined her efforts and sought to outshine her. Instead of avoiding Mark or escalating their rivalry, Sarah decided to keep him close. She initiated regular meetings to discuss projects, sought his input on key decisions, and found areas of common interest. Over time, Mark's antagonism diminished as he realized their shared goals. By keeping him close, Sarah not only neutralized a potential threat, but also gained a valuable ally in her professional network. 2. Family relationships. Family dynamics can also benefit from this approach. Emily, for instance, had a strained relationship with her sister-in-law, Jane. Jane often criticized Emily's parenting choices and created tension during family gatherings. Through these interactions, Emily discovered that Jane's criticism stemmed from her own insecurities. By keeping Jane close, Emily was able to address the underlying issues, leading to a more harmonious family environment. 3. Community and social interactions. In community settings, keeping enemies close can foster greater understanding and cooperation. There are several compelling reasons to adopt the strategy of keeping your enemies close. These reasons align with Stoic principles of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, guiding us toward a more enlightened and resilient way of handling conflicts. enhancing self-awareness and growth. Our enemies often highlight our weaknesses and flaws. By keeping them close, we are constantly reminded of areas where we need to improve. This continuous reflection and self-assessment foster personal growth and resilience. Instead of avoiding criticism, we face it head-on and use it to strengthen our character. 2. Strengthening strategic thinking. The presence of enemies forces us to think strategically and plan meticulously. It prevents complacency and encourages us to stay sharp and prepared. This strategic mindset is essential not only in conflicts, but in all areas of life where we need to make informed and thoughtful decisions. 3. Gaining valuable insights. Enemies often possess knowledge and perspectives that we might not have considered. By engaging with them, we can gain valuable insights into different ways of thinking and problem solving. This broadened perspective can enhance our understanding and improve our ability to navigate complex situations. 4. Fostering emotional resilience. Dealing with enemies tests our emotional resilience and self-control. Stoicism teaches us to remain calm and composed in the face of adversity, and interacting with adversaries provides ample opportunity to practice these virtues. By maintaining our equanimity, we become less susceptible to manipulation and more capable of handling stress and conflict. 5. Promoting justice and fairness. Keeping enemies close allows us to ensure that justice and fairness prevail. By understanding their viewpoints and motivations, we can address conflicts more equitably and avoid escalating situations unnecessarily. This commitment to justice aligns with Stoic values and contributes to a more harmonious and balanced existence. Practicing the art of keeping your enemies close requires a combination of strategic thinking, emotional intelligence, and Stoic principles. Here are some extended practical steps to implement this approach effectively. 1. Cultivate self-control and composure. The first step in dealing with enemies is to maintain self-control and composure. Stoicism teaches us to master our emotions and remain calm under pressure. By practicing mindfulness and self-discipline, we can interact with our enemies without being swayed by anger, fear, or frustration. 2. Develop empathy and understanding. Understanding your enemy's perspectives and motivations is crucial. This requires empathy and active listening. By putting yourself in their shoes, you can gain insights into their actions and anticipate their moves. This understanding can also foster a sense of compassion, which can diffuse hostility and open the door to dialogue. 3. Monitor and observe. Keeping enemies close involves constant monitoring and observation. Stay informed about their activities and movements. This vigilance allows you to detect any potential threats early and respond proactively. Use intelligence and information gathering techniques to stay ahead of your adversaries. 4. Engage in constructive dialogue. Engaging with enemies doesn't mean confrontation. Instead, focus on constructive dialogue and communication. Find common ground and explore opportunities for compromise and collaboration. This approach can transform adversarial relationships into more manageable or even beneficial ones. 5. Build strategic alliances. Sometimes, the best way to neutralize an enemy is to turn them into an ally. By finding mutual interests and goals, you can build strategic alliances that benefit both parties. This requires patience, diplomacy, and a willingness to negotiate and compromise. 6. Reflect and learn. Every interaction with an enemy is an opportunity to reflect and learn. Analyze your encounters and assess what worked and what didn't. Use these experiences to refine your strategies and improve your understanding of human behavior and conflict resolution. 7. Practice forgiveness and letting go. Holding grudges and harboring resentment can cloud your judgment and hinder your ability to think clearly. Stoicism teaches the importance of forgiveness and letting go of negative emotions. By forgiving your enemies, you free yourself from the burden of anger and can approach conflicts with a clearer mind. 8. Maintain ethical integrity. In all your interactions, maintain ethical integrity and adherence to Stoic principles. This means acting with honesty, fairness, and respect, even towards your enemies. By upholding your values, you set a positive example and avoid descending into unethical behavior yourself. 9. Embrace flexibility and adaptability. Conflict situations are dynamic and often unpredictable. Embrace flexibility and adaptability in your strategies. Be prepared to change your approach based on new information and evolving circumstances. This adaptability is a key component of effective strategic thinking. 10. Seek wisdom and guidance. Lastly, seek wisdom and guidance from mentors, literature, and philosophical teachings. Stoicism offers a wealth of knowledge on handling adversaries and conflicts. By studying these teachings and applying them in your life, you can develop a more profound understanding of how to keep your enemies close effectively. 11. Practice strategic patience. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither are alliances or understanding with adversaries. Practice strategic patience when dealing with enemies. Building trust and rapport takes time, and rushing the process may backfire. Allow relationships to develop naturally while staying vigilant and and proactive in your approach. 12. Set boundaries. While keeping enemies close involves engagement, it's essential to set boundaries to protect yourself. Define the extent to which you're willing to interact and ensure that you don't compromise your values or well-being. Boundaries serve as a safeguard against manipulation or exploitation. 13. Focus on long-term goals. Maintain a long-term perspective when dealing with adversaries. Rather than seeking immediate gratification or revenge, prioritize long-term goals and objectives. This mindset encourages strategic thinking and prevents impulsive actions that could exacerbate conflicts. 14. Embrace the uncomfortable. Interacting with enemies can be uncomfortable, but growth often occurs outside of our comfort zones. Embrace the discomfort as an opportunity for personal and professional development. Stoicism teaches us to endure hardship with resilience and courage, transforming challenges into opportunities for growth. 15. Practice empathetic listening. Listen to your enemies with genuine empathy and curiosity. Seek to understand their perspectives without judgment or prejudice. Empathetic listening fosters trust and mutual respect, laying the foundation for constructive dialogue and conflict resolution. 16. Utilize conflict resolution skills. Equip yourself with conflict resolution skills to navigate challenging interactions effectively. Learn techniques for de-escalation, negotiation, and mediation. These skills empower you to manage conflicts constructively and find mutually beneficial solutions. 17. Foster mutual respect. Despite differences or conflicts, strive to maintain mutual respect in your interactions with enemies. Treat them with dignity and decency, even when facing hostility or opposition. Respect begets respect and can pave the way for reconciliation or cooperation. 18. Practice emotional detachment. Maintain emotional detachment from the outcome of interactions with enemies. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what is within our control and accept external circumstances with equanimity. By detaching from emotional attachments or desires, we can approach conflicts with clarity and objectivity. Cultivate allies and support networks. While keeping enemies close, don't neglect the importance of allies and support networks. Surround yourself with trusted confidants who can provide guidance, encouragement, and perspective. Lean on these networks for support during challenging times. 20. Continuously adapt and evolve. Finally, recognize that the dynamics of relationships and conflicts are ever-changing. Continuously adapt and evolve your strategies based on new information and circumstances. Flexibility and agility are essential traits in effectively managing adversarial relationships. Keeping your enemies close is a multifaceted strategy rooted in Stoic wisdom and practicality. By understanding, engaging, and monitoring adversaries, you can navigate conflicts with resilience, insight, and integrity. Historical examples and personal experiences illustrate the effectiveness of this approach in various contexts, from politics to personal relationships. Through extended practical advice, we've explored the nuances of implementing this strategy, emphasizing patience, empathy, and strategic thinking. Navigating adversarial relationships with Stoic principles can be transformative. If you'd like to see more content like this, please like, share, and subscribe. Your support means everything. Thanks for watching.